Hi guys, this is just a short video to announce the time and date when the Kickstarter will start for this new Solar BMS, and it will be 23rd February, to 2 o'clock p.m. my time, so I think that's 8 p.m. GMT time. But you can go to my website, and I have here a countdown timer that will tell you exactly how many days and hours you have before the campaign starts. So I made just a few changes to the page. I also added some share buttons here for Google Plus or Facebook, the most common social media buttons. So I will not go into details. I just want you to go to the web page. It's electrodacus.com, so you can read all this data. Everything that you see there will be also on the Kickstarter page, so yeah, you can already check all the information about the new Solar BMS and specification and everything. So yeah, I will not go into details. I just made a short definition of what the Solar BMS is here at the beginning, and then a bit of comparison between lead acid and lithium, and why you should go with lithium if you don't already know about that. Anyway, I made here some points about lithium iron phosphate in general, because yeah, any type of lithium will work, but for energy storage, probably lithium iron phosphate are the best ones. And of course you will still be able to use supercapacitors if you want to play with those, but they are not very good for large energy storage, like for off-grid or stuff like that, at least not at this point in time. And yeah, I also added some links to some lithium iron phosphates from Sony and their solution for grid tie. They only offer a solution for grid tie energy storage, but they use the same type of batteries, and it may be an interesting read if you want to see about the capabilities of this lithium iron phosphate. One important fact is that they made some tests. I think they made some probably they didn't test it for 20 years or 25 years. I don't remember what they said there, but they extrapolated the data for the first 2 or 3 years of storage or something like that. So these batteries really can last for decades. So it's not just about the number of cycles, but they don't degrade over time, because it will be useless to have a 7,000 or 8,000 cycles battery if you can only use it for 5 or 6 years, and then it's degraded because of the age or something. So they are really probably the best at this time anyway. Best way to store energy for solar, because they somehow have about the same life expectancy like solar PV panels, so 25 years or something like that. So when you change your panels, you will also change your batteries, but I can imagine in 25 years you will have probably better options for both storage and solar energy generation. But we'll need to see that. Yeah, then there is a 24-bit ADC that can that will have up to 10 inputs available for the user. So if you want to have some, I don't know, external sensors, or you want to measure some voltages or currents, or you want to automate something or data log something, you can use these inputs. There will be up to 10 inputs if you use them as single-ended. But if you want to use them, we use them as differential inputs, then of course you only have 5 because you use 2 for each input. And then I have the new LCD, color LCD pictured here. And this was really needed, especially with a 24-bit ADC, because I will need to display much more data, and this older one was already a limitation even on the SBMS 4080, but I did my best to include as much as possible in the 4080 with a limited size, resolution. LCD size is also important, but not so much. The resolution is what I was limited in. If it's a small size, you would just need to go closer or to see all the data, but the resolution was really small on this one. So the new one will be a 320 by 240 quarter VGA resolution color LCD. So I think I will have way more space here to display much more data and maybe even graphs. Then Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. It seems at this moment that Wi-Fi is more popular, and yeah, I was expecting that when I decided to ask, but yeah, so I will be implementing Wi-Fi probably, even if initially I said that I will implement Bluetooth mostly because of the low power consumption, and Bluetooth was really enough for the amount of data that needed to be transferred if you did live data logging. But if I log internally some data, then transfer times could be huge issue with Bluetooth, because it's quite slow, especially the low energy Bluetooth. And then I have here the specification. This part of the specification, it's common for all the variants. There are four variants, and the difference is mostly about how much power the charging and discharging of each version can be. So I was naming this SBMS 25, even though the overcurrent limit for both input or charging and discharging, it's 32 amps, but it's called SBMS 25 because if you want to select your solar PV panels and you look on the back of the panel where you have the specification of the PV panels, they are usually the values are for the standard. There is a standard test done at 1000 watt per square meter of solar radiation and at 25 degrees Celsius for the cells, but normally in the summer they are at higher temperature, so they'll output less power than specified. But in winter, if you live in cold climates and it's maybe, I don't know, even minus 40 like here, then you can really get that amount of current and more. So I needed to leave a 20% margin. So you don't need to worry about if your solar panels are 25 amps total, maybe you connect a few of them in parallel, then you can be sure that you will never run into overcurrent protection limit, even if it's extremely cold and sunny and you have perfect angle to the sun and everything. You will not run into this problem. So that's why I'm calling this SBMS 25 or 40 or 65 or 100. So this represents the STC current value. Okay, so yeah, you can see that SBMS 25 and 65 only have one PV input. This is the main difference. And SBMS 40 and 100, they have dual PV inputs. As you can see in this table, the PV2, it's not present on the 25 and 65, just on the 40 and 100. And even though each PV input, like for example for SBMS 100, each PV input can handle 80 amps max, the sum of the two should not exceed 120. This is the overcurrent protection limit. So you can have a larger array on I don't know, PV1 and a smaller one on PV2, as long as the total is under 120. So about 3 kilowatt of solar PV panels for SBMS 100, it's possible in this way. And then here I made some I give some examples of maximum configuration for each type of solar BMS, and I recommend, I use in this example the maximum solar array that can be connected to each of them, and I use a lithium iron phosphate battery as an example. It's probably the values that I recommend for this if you want to use them at their full capabilities. So of course you can use smaller or larger batteries, but these are somehow almost ideal. They will give you 3 to 4 days of autonomy in case of it's extremely cloudy or something like that. And you can have a larger battery, but that's probably not very cost effective, because having a larger battery means higher cost, and it's just for maybe 1 or 2 times a year when you really need a larger storage battery. And all the power production values and consumption are based on my location. So that's in Canada, in Saskatchewan, and based on that I give you what you can expect as production from each of these setups in the worst winter month and in a typical summer or spring month. So as you can see, for the SBMS 100 you have 240 kilowatt hour per month. This is really the worst case in about December here that I can use from this based on my data. In fact, my system is so small that even SBMS 25 can handle it. It's very close to what you see on the SBMS 25, because you will see lower exactly my setup, but it's very similar with what SBMS 25 can handle, except for the output, because this can only handle 750 watt, and it's less than the old SBMS 4080. And then you have here the rewards. This is the values in Canadian dollar, because it will be on Kickstarter Canada, and they so they require Canadian dollars since I live there. But I made the conversion for you in US dollar and euro, so you have an idea of how much it represents in your currency if you use one of these two currencies. But this, I think I took this from Google in just maybe, I don't know, 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago. So this may change with $1-2 or something like that. And also, by the time you will be paying when the Kickstarter ends, it's when you will be charged. It will depend on your bank and what sort of exchange rate they use. So this is not really. It's just for as a rough estimation. It's not exact. It may be $3-4 more or less, depending on the exchange rate or at your bank at the time you will be charged. Okay, and then I have here my OffGrid House power consumption, and as you see I have 3 panels, 3 240 watt panels, and these are 60 cells, and I think now 250 watt it's more common. This was just a lower grade, were just a lower grade panels when I got them. It was the price was good per watt, so I got these ones. It doesn't make much difference. Then I have the GBS batteries. Some of you may know about this. I have a few videos about them. I got them, I think, about 3 years ago, but they are used full time here for almost 2 years now. And of course the Solar BMS 4080, this was used also to data log the power consumption on the system. And you see here, this is the graph that I made based on the CSV file. And if you want the raw CSV file, so you can build your own graphs. There are more data in the CSV file that what it's represented here. Maybe you want to see the battery voltage or individual cell voltage or something else. Then you can just download the CSV file by clicking on the graph. You click on the graph and then you'll get the link to the CSV file. And then I explained here for each day you can go to the web page and read what actually happens and why the graph, the energy or power graph looks the way it looks. And like here it was full sun day, and here I was not at home from about 12:30, so that's why there is no consumption and almost no consumption. Of course I have some, I had a refrigerator and some stuff still there, but I didn't took advantage of the sun as I should have, like I did here. Here I really tried to use as much as possible, keeping the battery that was in die 5, keeping the battery discharged, so that I can show how much you can get in a sunny day in I think this was in February, yes. Yeah, you just read this and download the CSV file if you want to make your own graphs. And all the recommendations that I made above here are based and extrapolated from my data. And like I said, here in Canada and Saskatchewan, I have pretty good solar resources, so you should not think that if this is in Canada, you will get much better sun because you are in, I don't know, a much sunnier country or a warmer country. It doesn't mean that. It can be worse. especially in Europe in the winter. It's probably much worse than what I get here. I mean, as an annual average, I get here about the same amount of solar energy as you will get in Sydney, Australia. So it's really not a bad place to have solar in here, even though most people even here don't think that. They don't realize that you can really produce a lot of energy from the sun here, and there are not too many places around the world that can offer better. There are only those 3 months in the winter when you have a bit less, but it doesn't compare with Europe. I mean, there it's really bad. It's probably around three times lower. You can get 3 times lower amount of energy, monthly energy, in these winter months in Europe than you can get here. So that's why even the heating for the house, it will be solar electric powered with solar PV. I just need to buy about 10 times this amount of panels, and then I can heat the house fully with electricity from solar. And I don't need any battery. I mean, the energy that I will get from this will be converted to heat using just resistive loads. So nothing else. Just even a piece of copper wire will work. It just dissipate the heat in that and embed that in the concrete slab that I have here. But it doesn't work on any type of house. I mean, this house was designed especially for off-grid and low energy and everything. And the most important aspect is that it has incorporated in the design solar thermal storage. I mean, there are 14 cubic meters of concrete that are part of the structure. So it didn't cost anything additionally, but it's thermally insulated from the outside, so I can use that concrete slab to store heat. In fact, those 14 cubic meters of concrete can store about 100 kilowatt hour of thermal energy at 10 degrees Celsius delta. So that's considering that this small house that I have, it's about 65 square meters and that's around 700 square feet. So this small house and well insulated, of course, will only use about 1,000 kilowatt hour per month for heating in the worst winter month. And yeah, believe me, it's quite cold here. So this is a very, very good low amount of energy for heating that I need for this house. But that's not so important. The most important part is that I have the possibility to store the energy somewhere, because solar, you can have 2-3 days without solar. During the night you don't have sun, so you need a way to store energy for those periods when you don't get sun. And if you don't have that, it will be a bit hard to build or implement. You will need huge volumes of water or something like that to store all that thermal energy. But yeah, I'll get maybe more into details of how I want to do this, but it's extremely simple. It's basically, I will have maybe 20 or 30 resistive loops embedded in the concrete, and then I can switch on and off more or less of those loops with just simple MOSFETs, nothing special. And I will have a microcontroller, maybe even the new SBMS can take care of this, because it doesn't need to be fast. And then it will do a sort of maximum power point tracking, but it's a digital sort of maximum power point tracking. It doesn't have any DC-DC converter or anything expensive like that. It's just switching more or less of these loops to maximize the power. So all it needs to do is just watch and see what's the output voltage of the solar array and keep that at the maximum power point voltage, and then based on the amount of sun. So then just switch more or less of the resistive heaters so that the current, so you can regulate the current, how much current you draw from the array in order to keep the voltage at the maximum power point. And since it's digital, maybe it's 1 or 2% loss, or not loss, but not ideal, but it's way better than just connecting directly the panels to a resistive loop of a fixed value, because then that may be calibrated for full sun, but then when it's in the afternoon or it's a bit cloudy, you don't get the most out of your panels. So and it's quite bad. I mean, without that digital MPPT that I'm talking about, you only get maybe 60% of the energy converted to thermal and used in your house. So, but yeah, having this large thermal mass will allow me to use all the available energy, and I will not lose anything. So everything will be converted to heat, store for days without sun, and this should work really, really well. I mean, at least from my calculations, I'm usually not that wrong, and I'm sure it will work. I'm not worried about that. But I will go into more details maybe later, and maybe I will build an add-on for the new SBMS to handle this. And if someone else is interested, but like I said, it only works with if you are able to store an energy in some form, and of course thermal energy storage is the best solution, because you need to store a lot of energy. So, and that's cheap usually, especially if it's integrated in a new building like I did. So if you build a new house, I encourage you to read about energy, thermal storage and thermal mass, or even write me an email and I will get back to you about that, because it will be a real shame not to include this, because it's inexpensive. It doesn't cost almost anything additionally. It just need to be done properly, and then you have that thermal mass for free. I mean, think about how much you will pay for a 100 kilowatt hour battery if you want to store that in a chemical form or electrical chemical form. Yeah, it will be extremely expensive compared to a bit of thermal isolation, because the concrete you need it anyway for the foundation. So, but yeah, I got a bit long with this stuff, so sorry for that. But yeah, like you see, just 5 days, and the Solar BMS will hopefully be on Kickstarter. I just need to get approval from Kickstarter. Didn't get it yet, but yeah, I hope there will be not too many troubles with this. And then it will be live. So yeah, please share this page, because that will help me, and it will also help you to, because if I'm not able to get the minimum amount that I need to build 100 of this, I cannot do it. I don't have my own money to build it and then sell it to you. So I really need to have this successfully founded on Kickstarter in order to build it. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and for your support. And I will probably have some other videos coming soon on YouTube these days. I have one about a wind turbine that I shot last winter and I didn't have time to edit, and I wanted to upload it maybe in the next few days when I get a bit of time. And also give me suggestions about where I should try to advertise this and how I should do it, because I wasn't that successful last time. I barely got the minimum amount I was asking on Kickstarter. So, but yeah, at least I hope to get the same thing now, the minimum. But if you have any suggestions on how I should promote this, so because many people that just find out about this, they are surprised that they didn't hear about the existence of Solar BMS, but I don't know exactly where I should go to make this or advertise this. Of course, I cannot afford paid advertising, so it will need to be, I don't know, some forums or something like that where I can talk about this project. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and just if you have any comments or questions, please just leave a comment and I will get back to you.